Today I thought I'd make old Bill up there in Connecticut, old 64 goat. I thought I'd make him a little jealous and let him see what we're paying for gas down here in Arkansas. That's regular. For those of you who follow my videos, you know a couple of Mish-Mash videos ago, I'm a junk collector. Don from up in Ohio sent me a boombox, and he also sent me a 8-track tape, a realistic 8-track tape, which was J.S. Bach or Johann Sebastian Bach. And I've gone ahead and refurbished the tape. So let's go ahead and listen to it. Let's hear what Johann Sebastian Bach has to say. If I can get it in there. Hang on. All right, now. I don't know about that. Let's try something else. That's good sleeping music. Good soothing sleeping music. That wouldn't be bad. I don't know. I guess if I was alone, working on the bench, you know, messing around with a radio or something, that'd be great music if I could stay awake. I think what we'll do is we'll take that one out and change it out with a Johnny Mathis all-time greatest hits. Let's see if there's a difference here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, much better. I grew up with old Johnny Mathis. I thought he was great then, and he's great now. Today we're going to make egg drop soup. I like egg drop soup. I'm getting a little tired of going to the restaurant to have to buy it, so I learned how to make it. And I'm going to show you all how to make it. Now what we need is some unsalted or very low salt chicken stock. Try to get the unsalted, otherwise your egg drop soup will be too salty. We need just a little bit of salt, about a teaspoonful. We need a little bit of sesame oil. As we go, I'll show you what we're putting in there. You can use cornstarch or potato starch, it makes no difference. Got a little bit of sugar, and then of course some wine, sake or sherry. It makes no difference. This particular wine is from the Post family, and it is made in Arkansas, Altus, Arkansas, believe it or not. Premium winemakers. So we'll be using about, I think it's about a tablespoon or a teaspoon of that. I'm not exactly certain how much. We'll cover that at the time comes. And we need a little bit of white pepper. Where did my white pepper go? Oh, there it is, way in the back here. We're going to need a little bit of ground white pepper to go in this thing. And we're going to need some eggs, of course. Now, I've already, we have quite a few people going to be eating this stuff tonight. So, I've already got one of these in the stock pot, and I'm fixing to add this second one. And we're going to pour this second box of chicken stock in the stock pot. Get it all in there. It's going to be quite a bit. Normally, you make a small portion and use one egg. Stir it into the mix and everything. But yeah, you put in as many eggs as you want. I happen to like egg drop soup that has a lot of egg. I don't like, just a few slivers of egg. I never have. If I go to a restaurant, Chinese restaurant, and they just put a few slivers of egg in my egg drop soup, I don't go back to that restaurant. I want to see some egg in there. And as usual, I've got the old deep fryer warming up. We're going to go ahead and set this thing for 350 later. And I got some nice fresh oil in it. Changed the oil out from when I made the hot chicken wings. For those of you who follow my video, we made some hot chicken wings the other day. Some Hooters hot chicken wings. And changed the oil out. Wifey said you can't reuse oil that's been used to cook chicken. Alright, I got no problem with that. We put some nice fresh in there. Clean it all out, put nice fresh. Since we're whipping up a large batch of this egg drop soup, we're probably going to have to go double the ingredients. Which right now it's a half a teaspoon of salt and a quarter teaspoon of sugar, and then just a little bit of white pepper, and then a tablespoon of cornstarch mixed with a tablespoon of water. That's supposed to make it thick. But I've got 2 tablespoons in there right now, and I'm going to double up on these ingredients also. It may turn out we have to triple it up. I don't know. We'll worry about that when the time comes. I just stirred the 2 tablespoons of water into those 2 tablespoons of starch, the cornstarch. And what we're going to do now is toss it on in there. And that's going to start thickening it up, okay? That's what that's all about. Now she's on the verge of boiling a little better. We're going to go ahead and just stir it till it starts to thicken up. Alright, normally it's a half a tablespoon of white wine, but since we're doing double on everything, we're going to do a full tablespoon. Let's see if I can kind of eyeball it. There's 1. There's 2. And just a little bit more. We'll call that the dummy factor. Alright, now I'm going to take 3 eggs. I'm really going to whip them up. I mean, I'm going to turn these babies into nothing but water. And we're going to beat them really good. I don't want any thick eggs. We want it to be very, very runny. Alright, it's come to a boil. And I went ahead and shut the fire off. And I'm getting ready to add the egg. And as I add it, I'm going to stir it in a clockwise position. Clockwise, slowly as I stir it. Alright, now here's what we're doing. We're pouring a little bit of it in at a time. A little bit of it in. And we're stirring around in a clockwise position. A little bit more. We got a lot of egg in there. You think we might have too much egg, baby? I don't think so. We only got a little bit left. Let's just go ahead and add it all. Can't hurt. I'm not going to waste a good chicken's effort, you know. And there we go. And there, ladies and gentlemen, is my version of egg drop soup. Last but not least, I add a teaspoon of sesame oil, but we're going to have 2 of them because we got double the amount. Again, we'll just go ahead and put the old sesame oil in there. Get it filled all the way up. Can't get enough sesame oil. Then we'll pour that in there. Alright, we're ready to put the old egg rolls down there. These are the chicken egg rolls. Let's go ahead and see what happens. Ooh, look at that. I love this deep fryer. It's just the coolest thing. Well, there's the first batch of egg rolls in our egg drop soup. What do you think, Shannon? It's always a no from her anyway. If she says no, we know it's delicious.
Yeah, you know it.
Well, what do you think?
It's all right so far.
It's all right so far. You know what that means? It's an amazing success. Got a little wine in it. I didn't put much.
What I got to do, and you do it.
Well, we're all sitting here talking to Ethan and getting him to apply for more scholarships. He's sort of hesitant. Why are you hesitant? He doesn't want the money. You don't want them to show you the money?
Technically, we should have started at the beginning of the year.
Yes, there it is.
Beginning of the senior year,
that's
we
right.
Start applying for every application that you
That's
could.
right. Scholarships, freebie money. That's Evan. He jumped right in there. He told him the way it is. Ain't that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you lined out now, Ethan? Are you lined out?
On a technical skill trade.
You killed me. All right. I guess the verdict today was pretty good chow for supper.
Day laborer.
Good chow for supper, everybody. Give me a thumbs up if it was good. Everybody like it. Oh, wow, from my daughter. I don't believe this. Well, since my egg drop soup and the egg rolls was such a rousing success, I am going to reward myself with a cup of donut, a shop coffee. And we got the 8 ounces lit up. Hit the old button, and she'll start cooking right away. I just love this thing. Incidentally, for those of you who may not have tried the McDonald's, the McCafe, I guess is what they call it, McCafe. Boy, that's also very good. It tastes exactly like McDonald's coffee. If you like McDonald's coffee, which I and wifey do. So she bought some of that, and it tastes great. Today I stopped by the St. Joseph's Flea Market, which is a Catholic church flea market, and they run it Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays only. They got some really good stuff in there at some very good prices. And I picked up some VHS tapes. I picked up Grease, and I think they were like $1 a piece. Can't beat it. And then Chicago, and I bought this one here, which is still in the box, still sealed in the plastic. Stand By Me. You know, and I've heard such good things about this movie, but I've never watched this particular one. I also picked up a DVD. I think the DVD was $2 on Step Up, which has to do with dancing and lots of good music. So I'll be watching that tonight on my VCR that I purchased there not too long ago. That one right down there. I think I paid $10 for that thing or something like that. Come on, focus, boy. I paid $10 for that thing. It's got a remote control, and I've got it all hooked into our sound system now. Wifey, our son bought Wifey this brand new entertainment solid wood oak setup for Christmas this year, and I had to, of course, drag it all the way down from Rogers and drag it in the house to set it up. And I figured that's an ideal time to revamp my entire entertainment system. So that's what we did, and we got the VHS going and everything. So tonight I plan to drink my coffee and watch a couple of good movies. It's going to be very cold out tonight, so why not? Well, today is a cold, wet, rainy, miserable day on a weekend, of course. Couldn't happen during the week while we work. No, it has to ruin our entire weekend. I guess I'm not going to complain, though. I remember not too long ago we didn't have any rain. So, you know, what that does is it puts me in the mood to make some homemade bread. I'm going to make a couple of loaves today. I just put 3 cups of bread flour in here. I put a 1/4 teaspoon of yeast, fast-acting yeast in each one, just a 1/4 teaspoon. And I put a teaspoon of salt. Now I'm going to mix it all around and make sure each one is thoroughly mixed by hand and make sure all those ingredients. Then I'm going to add some hot water, and then I'm going to whip it all around with by hand. I'm not going to do any of this by machine. We're going to whip it all around. We're going to make it into a nice dough, and then we're going to cover it with saran wrap and let it set for 3 hours. Then we'll take it out. We'll shape it into a long dough or a long loaf shape for these 2 pans. I got 2 bread pans here. We'll go ahead, we'll spray inside each one, and we'll put the dough in there. We'll bake it up and see how it turns out. I'm really in the mood for some bread. Here's something I find interesting. You know, I read on the internet not too long ago that if you use hot water with yeast, it kills the yeast because yeast is a living organism. Well, that's interesting because this particular recipe calls for adding very hot water to this mixture. How about that? I'm going to talk about a quandary. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the hot water in there. And Wifey just said she's making a homemade soup again. Oh, which is really great. She's going to do that today. This bread will go great with that soup. Well, there they are, all mixed up. It's actually 1.5 cups of water. Hot water goes in there. I just mixed everything up by hand. Now we let it set for 3 hours and let it rise, or the new word is proof. Incidentally, Wifey's new stove has a proof setting. All I got to do is press that button, stick the 2 bowls with the dough in there, and it puts out a very, very, very low warm heat, which helps it rise better. It's been 3 hours, and as you can see, the dough is doubled in size. This is great. Now I'll go ahead and scoop it out on the old flour and form it into a loaf and get it in the pan. I just stuck them in the oven, 350 degrees. We're going to cook them for about 45 minutes. You know, give or take, depending on what it looks like. And Wifey's whipping up her world famous vegetable soup that we'll be eating with the bread. Oh, boy, that does look good, honey. Let me smell it. Let me smell. Good to go. Let's go ahead and wrap it up with what's going on with Wifey here. She's canning the last, well, she has already canned the last of our tomato juice from last year. She had it frozen and thawed it all out and boiled it all up, and she's got it ready, enough to last the rest of the winter, I hope. And, you know, once you start drinking that stuff, it's hard to stop. It really is. And by the way, that's from those tomatoes. For those of you who watch my vids, you remember last year I hand cranked all those cases of tomatoes. That's where that came from. And she's sterilizing some more canning jars because she wants to make some more plum jelly out of what was left from last year. She squished it, boiled them down and everything, and then she froze these also. And she thawed it out. We're going to have a little more plum jelly before it's over. I cannot wait for that either. Well, that's it. Until next time, this is John.